As I've said before, I want to give the illusion that we might be peeking in on this scene. And my idea, of course, is to have this element somehow in the foreground. Now, whether I use the whole thing or not, that's irrelevant because we can always use a part of it, maybe hanging down or sticking up as, grass or something, or a broken branch. So what I want to do here is I want to take this guy and just for now, take it into its own document so we can just concentrate on some techniques we can use. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. Let's select the whole thing, and I'm going to now create a brand new document. And by the way, a little secret that you guys might not realize is Photoshop is aware of whatever size the selection is that we copy. So as you can see, because we started a 1024 by 768 or whatever size document we had there, it's going to put that number here. I'm going to demonstrate this for you real fast. I'm going to create a brand new file real fast. And I'm going to just paint in something real fast like this. I'm going to crop it. So I'm going to hit C on my keyboard, and I'm going to just grab the cropping tools and just squash this down. Once again, not a Photoshop class, but you guys sure are getting a Photoshop course here. So let's say I want to copy this stuff, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just accept this. And I'm going to select this and copy. Or even better, I'll deselect this and hit the magic wand tool and just click the green, right? So I'm going to click on the green. I'll copy this. I'll create a brand new document. So File, New. Look at this. The numbers change. So Photoshop is aware of what's selected, and when we create a brand new document, it's going to try to match that automatically, unless you manually type that in there. And that's something I actually like quite a bit. So having said that, I'm going to once again select this whole thing, copy it, create a new file, and I'm going to paste this in here. Now what I want to do is I want to talk about some of the ways we can get this out of here, out of the blue. There's a couple of techniques. The easiest way, of course, and not always the most accurate, is to grab the magic wand tool, and we can click inside the blue. As you see, it does a pretty good job, but of course it misses this stuff here. That's because we have to turn contiguous off. What this does is it says, select only things that are not blocked by solid lines. For example, this branch blocks off the sky here, and so do these. With this off, it's going to grab everything that's blue that it can, all right, based on the tolerance. So if we have this number set to, let's say 5, it's only going to select this dark area and then probably skip the rest. But once again, you guys can check that out in the real Photoshop course. So for now, let me show you something else. We could choose Select, Color Range. Then we can take this eyedropper that appears when we move our mouse outside of this dialog box, and we can click in it. And as we click and move our mouse around, we're telling the tool what range of colors we'd like it to select. We can change this by hitting the fuzziness, and the more I bring this up, the more it's going to sample of that color. Then I can go ahead and hit OK. That's not too bad. I'll hit delete on my keyboard, and I'm going to deselect this selection to see what I have here. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Doesn't look too bad. Sure, it has a couple of blue pixels, sticking off there, but it might work and it might not. I'm just showing you guys right now some of the techniques we can use. And when you do have things that are a little jaggedy like this, you can go to the layer menu, and all the way in the bottom, you can go to matting, and you can choose to defringe. What it will try to do is get rid of that little fuzziness. Now you really can't see what I'm talking about, so I'm going to create a brand new layer. I'll hit D on my keyboard, and I'm going to fill the back with black and drag it underneath the branches. Then I'll zoom in. And now you can see what I'm talking about. Some of this fuzzy stuff going on here. So I can go to Layer, and I can go to Matting, and I can choose Defringe, and I can choose a pixel width. For example, I'll say 3 pixels. And it will get rid of as much of that fuzziness as it can. I can also, by the way, and I was on the wrong layer, of course, but let me go ahead and try that again. Matting, Defringe. 3 pixels. Now you can see what's happening. So I'll undo that, redo it, so you see the difference. We can also choose things like remove the black matte or white matte. So if we had a bunch of white pixels, it will try to get rid of those. So as you can see, there's several techniques we can use to clean this up. We can also go to quick mask mode. So if we go to Select, Edit in quick mask mode, we can now go and grab a paintbrush, and we can literally paint a mask that's red around whatever the object is we want to select. Now, of course, with a object like a branch that has this many pieces, it could take you a little while. But once you're done and you go to select Edit Quick Mask Mode again, you now have a selection. And then you can go to select inverse or whatever, and you can delete everything outside or inside of that selection. You can really, really get a control of how you want to choose your selection so that you can separate things from other elements. So what I'm going to do is, just to see how this looks, I'm going to just click and drag this into our comp. All right, so let me go back to the ancient thing here. I'm going to hide the original. I'm going to simply deselect this and move this into position. I'll rotate it a little bit and go something like this, just to show you the idea I'm going for here. I want to just have this element that's in front of this scene to put us in kind of a more 3D perspective. All right. So on your own, guys, just play around and see if you can find whatever tool you're comfortable with, whether it's the quick mask or whether it's using the magic wand tool or using the defringe tools to get your leaves or whatever you have outside of your document. Once again, like I said before, there's even more ways of doing this by going to the channels, choosing the one with the most contrast, and then applying levels to that and making it darker and all that kinds of great stuff. So there's a lot to Photoshop. So I just wanted to share with you some extra techniques that you can use when you're building a comp.